You are now listening to the Playmaker Podcast.
Before we get into this episode, we want to show some love to our partner, Stateside Vodka. I know y'all love to drink and hate hangovers, so why not drink something that is gluten-free, blended with electrolytes, zero sugar, zero carbs, and vegan. If you want to purchase this, visit statesidevodka.com and use code PLAYMAKER or click that link in the description below. We hope you enjoy this episode, and once again, visit statesidevodka.com and use code PLAYMAKER. Family, this is the Playmaker Podcast. I'm your host, Reggie Coleman.
DJ Bean.
And today we got special guests, Brandon and Bam. They brand is work, but we'll talk about that later. We thank y'all for joining us. We in a pandemic right now. So this is our actual first guest since probably March. So thank you for joining us. How y'all doing during this pandemic?
First, just want to thank you for having us. Like I said, honored, especially with the first guest back after the break. But all in all, we're doing as well as we can be during these times.
Yeah, just trying to maintain.
Got you.
So during this pandemic, what y'all been doing? How y'all keeping yourself busy?
With me, school, a lot of it's been virtual. For a moment, we've been back in the hybrid, so just 1 minute I'm comfortable in hybrid, next minute I'm back in virtual. It's been going back and forth with that. Other than that, playing a lot of 2K.
Oh yeah.
watching a lot of basketball, a lot of college and professional basketball. Good to see some high school basketball as well. Every time I get a chance to see that, and then like I said, just getting ready for our season. That's kind of just been it.
Yeah, like he said, a lot of 2K. Trying to catch up on some Netflix shows, stuff like that.
Well, before we get into the high school season, what you been watching on Netflix?
I just finished watching the LA's Finest with Gabrielle Union and Jessica Alba.
Check that out.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's all right.
Good.
Solid watch. It's a solid
I've been
watch.
watching this Tyler Perry show. It's on Amazon Prime. Okay. The acting is terrible.
I thought you was about to be like, yeah, the acting's good.
It's called The Oval. If y'all get a chance,
okay, I did
check it out.
Is that what I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, don't do that no more.
Like they in a White House or something like that.
I seen.
It's like a spinoff to what's that?
Scandal.
Yeah, I think
The
it's like
acting, we could have been in that joint. Tyler Perry got to do better. But let's get to know y'all a little bit. Y'all played basketball, football in high school. But first, when did y'all start playing basketball and football? And then when did y'all actually know which sport y'all wanted to take more serious, I guess?
So all my life, I've been playing. I only played basketball and football. I started playing football when I was 5. Started playing basketball when I was 6. And growing up, I never had a favorite. It was just whatever season it was. That was my favorite sport at the time.
True.
And then as I got to my decision around college time, going into it, once again, I still didn't have a decision being made, and it kind of just made the decision for itself. I went on football visits, I went on basketball visits, and then basketball was just the last thing I did, and I just kind of ran with it.
True.
How about you, Ben?
Like he said, playing football since about 5, basketball since 6. With me, it was more following my brother's footsteps. If he played basketball, I probably was going to play basketball, which he did. But I think I liked football more.
Yeah.
Word.
Just stuff happened during high school with coaches and stuff, so it just didn't work out. Yeah, basically.
Oh, I know how that goes. from speaking from college, but in college, I'll give you a quick story. Freshman year, I get there. I went to Newman. If you didn't know, came in first 7 games. I was 6 man. We had a bunch of seniors. 6 man. My grades started to dwindle, but before that, second semester. He stopped playing me just because no minutes. I'm like, damn.
No reason?
This after Christmas break. No reason.
Did you ask him?
My grades was good at that point.
Did you ask him why?
Nah, he got fired after that year.
Oh, fucking man. Excuse my language.
So, he just stopped playing me, and that's when I started actually having the college experience, partying too much, not going to class. But long story short, I get the politics part because sometimes you better than that person.
Yeah.
But it's just who does the coach like? Exactly. That's what it really be.
I dealt with
most
that too.
times. Yeah,
I dealt with that too at Mercer.
Yeah.
Clown, bro. But nah, just on a baseball aspect, maybe like 2 black kids on the team at Mercer. I was playing at Mercer County. Came in, I walked on. So, they already give they scholarships. But you, like you said, you better than 80% of the people on the team, and that it was crazy. It's crazy.
Sadly, but like I said, that really does how it happens.
And it's frustrating too. So
and I just feel like that's when we have the wrong people with the power of making the decisions. It's really supposed to be about the kids putting the best product out there, but a lot of people make it about the coaches, make it about them, and like I said, the politics behind it.
So now you on the other side. How does it feel to be one? I think you correct me if I'm wrong. I think you one of the youngest coaches around here, like head coaches, varsity. Let's talk about your process from you was at Nottingham. Let me know if you coached somewhere else before that. How was that process going from Nottingham to Hamilton High West?
So with that process, I started coaching like my senior year of college. So I didn't play. I had tore my ACL my junior year, and then like I started to rehab in order to play my senior year.
Remember them days?
And then South 15.
South 15.
and then as it got closer to the time, my dad and Coach Robert, I guess they already talked about me wanting to coach. Coach Robert was retired at the time. He retired from coaching at West. Okay. And then this job opened up at Nottingham, and he reached out and he said that, I guess, like I said, he talked to my dad before he talked to me and said, I want to go back to coaching, but I only want it if Brandon comes back and coach with me.
Got you.
And then when they first brought it to me, I'm just a player. I said, no, I just want to play. And then as we got closer to it, I started off my senior year. I wasn't like medically clear yet, but I was like, still go to practice and stuff like that. And then as it got closer, they just kind of realized the long-term decision. It was the best decision for me to start coaching. So that year, my senior year, I was my first year coaching. I was Robert's lead assistant for varsity and then the head JV coach. But going right into that, when I tore my ACL, like the rest of my junior year, that's kind of when my process started. Like I was always, being a point guard, you're always a student of the game and always want to know what's going on. But then when I couldn't play, I felt out how could I still be involved? So I just wanted to like let my teammates know constantly where they should be, what's going on. And that's when like my coaching started without me even knowing. And then, like I said, a year later, I ended up coaching instead of playing. And then I walked in. Like I said, I walked into that. I did 7 years at Nottingham. 7 years at Nottingham. And then my last 2 years of coaching have been at Hamilton West. This will be my second year, so I have 9 years of like coaching high school basketball.
That's dope, man. How you like just coaching for your hometown or your high school you went to?
Mater.
How's that?
It's good. It's just that it's happy to be back home, but it wasn't the same place when I left.
Gotcha.
So when I got back, the tradition, everything that was there, I took over a program that was struggling. So just trying to get that back and let the kids know like this is what West is about and this is the standard. That's been a frustrating but fun process. But it's great just to, like I said, there's no place like home. It's great to just be back there. The love from the community is great. And then, like I said, to just have the kids when they wake up every day to realize, this is what a program is supposed to look like. This is what I want to be a part of. So just to still that in them is been a fun process.
Man, that's dope.
Just to backtrack real quick, I meant to ask this as my very first question. In high school, who was a player that y'all hated guarding, and who did y'all love to play against in high school, both of y'all?
Me, it was TCA. It was love-hate relationship with them. One, because they were the top of the thing, so I felt like they were in my way for me to get to where I need to get to. And then it was just always battles. I feel like they always brought their A game. They made me bring out my A game. So it'd be you was one of those.
Even
players.
in our adult years,
exactly. you leader, Franz, all those battles. Like it was always love and mutual respect. But between those lines, we pushed each other to the fullest. Just like they were like my brothers without even really being my brothers. Like when me and him play against each other, we push each other to the fullest.
Definitely.
So definitely for me, it was TCA.
For me, it was West because I transferred my sophomore year to Nottingham when he started coaching. So I just didn't want them to be better than me. I didn't want to feel like I made the wrong decision, but they end up always getting a better hand. But like Brandon said, I loved playing against them. They were my brothers. We grew up together and everything. But one player I loved to play against was Bean Shaquan Worthy. He was a student in the game. Yeah, tough
guard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one player I
Sneaky,
dislike.
Smooth.
How about football?
For football, for me, it was Steiner. I think because from Pop Warner, you had the Hamilton West, and then you had Steiner. So since I was 5, 6 years old, it's just been bred for me to dislike them, and they dislike me. So like I always had my best games versus them, and like I said, they did things to try to get me out the game just because they wanted to make sure I wasn't continue to dominate them.
Bam, question for you. I know you're assistant now. Did you want to be a coach like ever, or was it because Brandon was a coach? So and you love the game obviously, so you wanted to get your foot in the door of coaching and one day being a head coach somewhere?
Yeah, so I never thought I'd probably be a coach growing up and everything, but my dad was he coached us since we were little. Then Brandon stepped in and coached, and I'm like you said, I'm a student in the game. I love the game, so it was just an opportunity to still be around while he's coaching. I can coach, and then maybe one day I have my own program once he leaves or does what he has to do. So
that's dope. So back to high school, Hamilton West. No, let's start at Nottingham. You coached the JV team. My brother was on the team for a couple years with you.
Yeah.
You had a great record. I don't know the exact record.
Yeah, the shooter.
With your time there. But how was it coaching a JV team that went almost undefeated? I think y'all lost a couple games.
Yeah.
In 3 or 4 years or whatever it was. How was coaching that JV team and just motivating kids? Because back in our day, we loved to battle, compete. These kids nowadays, they like to transfer.
Yeah.
So how was it just coaching that team specifically to that great of a record?
So like start off my first year when I stepped in was like a trial and error year. Like I said, my first game, I won my first game. My first year, JV, we won by 20. In the second game, we lost by 20. So it was just a battle. Man. It was a battle.
It was like, yes, but damn.
But like we end up finishing that year still winning 10 games. But that kind of set the foundation. Like I said, it was a lot of trial and error through it. And now, like I said, then every year I challenged the team before to do better than that team. So by the time I got your brother and his group, they were one of the few groups as freshmen. I usually had 1 or 2 freshmen, but they had a core group of freshmen to come in. And first year we went 13-2 with them. And then his second year, we were like 17-1 the last year. But it really just started with just trying to be better than the team before because they set the standard, they set the foundation, and we just want to constantly improve. But it took a lot. Like I figured the first thing of coaching, one of the first things I always do, I just ask the kids like, "Why are you here?" Like I knew when we were playing, I know why we were here, what we want to do it for. Yeah. But now, I used to jokingly with them, I tell them like, "You guys are like just gym class players. What's the difference between you and a gym class player? You just like to play basketball. You just like to be here." So we would have that conversation, and then I let them know what it takes for you to get to the level that we set for ourselves. So it's not me just setting a standard. We come to a common ground and we go from there. So getting them to buy in and understand that, and then once you get a taste of success and you see what it's supposed to be, it becomes like a drug, and you focus every day on it. So the next group that comes in is like, I got to be better than them. I see him walking around the hallways. I'm at the games. There's so many people there cheering him on and so forth. So like that was like that whole process with that. But your brother's group was probably my second favorite JV team that I've ever coached. My first favorite was when Darrell was a freshman. Cartier Bowman was there. He was a freshman as well. Dan was there. Derry. It was a good group. But that group, we won. I think they might have been like 14-4 or something like that. But the energy they brought, like during that time, during that year, the passion and stuff they played with was just like, it's hard to explain. Like our games were more entertaining than varsity games. Like varsity players were coming to our games to watch it just because literally all those kids cared. It wasn't the most talented group, but they literally worked the hardest I've ever had so far. So like when we at the games, they didn't care if I scored 2 points, I scored 20 points. As long as we getting stops, we getting out and running.
And getting a win.
Exactly. And like that became a true brotherhood. In practice, it was bad. It was like I'm sure when you were practicing, it was like the closest thing I've seen in a while where like just our generation of battling and growing up in practice. Like they were going at it where I got to step in between because they both compete. Because once again, I had maybe 7 or 8 guys who could all constantly play at that time, but only 5 guys could be on the floor. So in practice, I said it's open competition. So he's going at him, And it just ended up, like I said, when they got on the court, they just appreciated more. So when we got in those tough battles, you know what? I know I can trust him. He got my back. And then, like I said, that was a good group. And your brother group, like I said, to be that young freshman group, they understood what the standard was. and they had personality and swag to go on top of the skill and everything. It was a unique swag, but they just reminded me of like myself and how I like to play the basketball. Where I remember your brother, I used to constantly always tell him, don't care if you miss 2 shots, 3 shots, keep shooting because that's what you do. I know you can make 4 or 5 in a row.
True.
And like Keyshawn was a guy like, I don't know if you ever Coach Carter, he had the Timo Cruz game where on fast breaks, I tell him I'm on the sideline as he's dribbling, pull up, and he pulls up. Everyone else thinks a bad shot, but no, that's just what we do.
That's what type of player he is.
Exactly. And then still had Brandon in that class. And Chris Williams. Like I said, it was just a good group. And the growth from the first game to the last game, like I said, was just a special with that group.
That's great. So do you think the generation of kids now could definitely compete with us, like when we were playing in high school?
And me personally, compete, no. I feel like this is where I feel like a lot of people get confused, where I believe that they may be more talented, but doesn't make them necessarily better. Because there's a lot of talented, because just skill stuff will get better, but it doesn't make you a good player. Like you go to a profession, what separates this guy from that guy? They're both just as talented, but only some people actually pan out. And that just goes back to that drive and desire that we got. Like we really wanted it more than anything. We wasn't there to be cool, wasn't there for this or that. We wanted to be there to show everyone that I am legit the best one on the floor. Whether you are or you're not, it was just a mindset. I believe there's a 1 or 2 who could, if they were around it, they would adopt that environment and play. I feel like for the most part, most of them, like I said, wouldn't last, or just it'd take them a while to get to it.
Got you.
So now to Hamilton West. What is this, your third?
This is my second
year. Second year, season about to start soon. So what do you expect for this season, being that it's a shortened season because of the pandemic? What do you want to get out of your players this season? I'm not sure if it's a state playoffs this year or not.
Unfortunately, no state playoffs.
So what do you want to get out of this season in particular, since it's different than anyone we ever been through?
Like originally going into this year, I thought we had a team that can compete for the sectional title. Legit. Last year, like I said, the team that won the sectional title, we lost in the second round to them. We took them to the wire, and at the end of the game, the coach came to me and said, this was the toughest game we ever played. So just to let them know, like, this is why we here. These are the games we want to play in. We wanted to pick up where we left off. I had a lot of guys returning, got a transfer in who can help out, and got another guy his first year playing as well who's going to help be big parts of the program. But expectation is just to find ways to win games. Realistically, what we have, you play 13 regular season games, and then the last 2 games are like a county tournament where if you're top 4, you'll play in the semifinals and finals, and then they'll break down the next 4, we'll play in that bracket and so forth. So our goal is to make it in the top 4 and be the last team standing. Like I said, fingers crossed if everything, we get to play a season out.
So y'all younger in age, do y'all ever practice with the kids?
All the time.
How does that go? How does that go? Go ahead, Ben.
Just trying to get them to compete, be tough, see the floor, see the mistakes they make. We try to correct it right then and there. But it's really just about consistency. Every day in practice, I want you to compete. I want you to be better than you were the day before.
Yes, I was not to cut you off, but to go with that, I feel like that's one of our best assets that we bring that most coaches can't bring, is that we not only tell you, we hop in and we show you. And
stop yelling at me. Show me what you're talking about.
And I feel like that we can do that, and I feel like that's the quickest way for me to grab the kids' respect. Like they're like, okay, he's not just talking, he knows what he's doing, and I can get out there and show them, and then now they buy in more. And I just feel like just us growing up, we always played against older people growing up, and we do that. And I feel like my kids can grow faster and get better from competing against us.
Man, so season starts in whenever I release this, so probably a week from when y'all see this.
Yeah.
Who do y'all play first?
Our first game will be February 1st. We have Allentown.
It's no fans, right?
No fans.
So how can fans watch if they wanted to watch?
So once I get the information, we're going to have a YouTube channel, and the games will be live streamed. So once the AD gets me that, then I'll be able to get that out to everyone. But so everyone can still watch us from the freshman level, JV level, varsity level. All 3 levels will be on that YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch.
Be on the lookout for that. So you're at Hamilton. Let's say 5, maybe 10 years from now. What's your plans? Do you plan on? expanding to the college level, or do you want to change the culture, obviously, at Hamilton West, but maybe go to another high school? What's your plans, let's say 5-10 years from now?
That's a great question.
I don't want to rush you, though.
Nah, you don't rush me. Literally for the past, at least like the past, like ever since I turned 21, every 3 or 4 years, I got like new goals, new things. Like when I first started coaching, I thought I never wanted to be anywhere besides Nottingham. And then as a few years into it, I'm like, I won't mind being at any school in Hamilton. Now that I'm coaching at Hamilton, I'm like, I won't mind being any program that fits me. I thought maybe I always wanted high school. Then I'm like, no, I wouldn't mind coaching college level. So 5 to 10 years from now, hopefully I built up the program to the point where we're a powerhouse throughout the state. And then I would have a plan for myself. I don't know if that's going to be either me staying at Hamilton West or me possibly going to a better opportunity if it presents itself.
Just think of tomorrow, I'm going to come in, I'm going to take care of business. I'm just asking for one thing. Can we please take care of business tomorrow? I asked for a lot. Forget everything else I asked. We have to take care of business tomorrow. I want this game more than anything. Not for me, but really for how bad everyone talked about your guys. Everybody line of face me. Everybody get to a line of face me. I gotta look through your eyes. Who ready to work today? Coach? I'm gonna go start by looking in your eyes. Who ready to go today? I think he might be ready. I don't know if he's ready. I don't know. Look through your eyes. See if you're ready to go. Captain Jack, you here? You here, Vince? I feel your presence, Vince. I just want us to work. That's all I want today. All that bad negative energy, we get it off you. Get all that bad negative energy off you. Positive. If we work and stay positive, we win this game. Everybody understand that? Y'all play hard for me. I got your back, you got my back. 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 Let's go. Work nice and loud on 3.
Work on me, work on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Work.
So we were talking about your plans 5 to 10 years from now. Do you have a desired school you ever wanted to maybe even play for or coach, whether it be Division 1, 2, 3, it don't matter. Like, do you have a desired school you would want to coach at?
So for high school purposes, I thought maybe I was thinking like a school very similar to TCA, where I have the ability to bring in kids, but a small school or not, but you're able to play against the bigger schools. That's like, because me, I'm a hometown, homebody person. Like, I don't want to be in a big corporation. I like to know everyone I'm working with, and we all on the same page. So school, like I said, very similar to that is what like I said, maybe 3 years from now, if that opportunity opens up. And then went from there, if I could maybe, like I said, I thought about possibly the JUCO route if that opportunity opens up. But my dream school, my favorite college is Texas University. Like ever since I watched Vince Young win the national championship, I've been a fan, and KD and LaMarcus Aldridge came right after him on the basketball side. So that'd be like, if that was to ever happen, that'd be my dream job.
How about you, Bam? You've been coaching for a couple years now. Do you have like a school, maybe even high school or college, that you would want to coach at, or maybe even be an assistant coach somewhere else if you ever decide to leave your brother?
I don't think I'm gonna leave Woorrkk, but I think my favorite school, college, is Michigan State. So I think being an assistant coach for Tom Izzo would be real dope. Get to learn a lot from him.
What school? I saw something on Twitter. Somebody, when kids was on recruiting visits, they was giving money in. Yeah, putting money in the McDonald's bag.
Wait, they was on what?
So when kids had visits to the school, like Tennessee, y'all said, they would give the kids McDonald's.
How recent
bags,
was this?
But they would put money in it.
Past week or so,
Word?
everyone got fired.
Oh,
My
that's
bad,
crazy.
Oh, no, that was,
I just thought of
I
it.
did remember that.
Let's talk about that.
Money in what bag?
What y'all think about
Fans watching.
kids in college being paid to like while they're in college?
I was always an advocate of it. I even me being in college, I even wrote papers about it. I just feel like, especially here in America, if you're good at something, you have a talent, people are willing to pay you for it. Like if you're the best at computers, you can be able to get paid when you're 7 years old, right away. If someone willing to pay you for your talent, you should be able to, to make money off it. That's just how I feel about it.
How about you, Ben?
I agree with him. Yeah, definitely.
What you think? Go on.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, all these people, I mean, you're going to have fans regardless, but there's certain people that only come there to see a certain person. So, I mean, if you out there blood, sweat, and tears, why not? I don't see nothing wrong with it.
In your school, you get paid. If y'all win a national championship, the school gets paid, and they don't see none of that.
The coaches get bonuses, but the actual people on the court or on the field
don't get nothing.
Which they get a
see
T-shirt or something. They get a hat because they won. But
They get a
like,
hat.
yeah, I feel the same way. Like I think they should be paid, but obviously, do you think that the star players should get paid as much as let's say the 12th player on the team?
So with that, I like kind of where they were going with it, where it's no contract, no open-ended. It's just your likeness. Like if people are willing to give me $100 and want to give you $500, that's just what you get.
That's what you get,
just
yeah.
determine your own worth.
Yeah, I like that.
I do too.
So yeah, pay these kids.
Yeah, stop playing.
Chill. So let's talk about college. What teams do y'all like to watch in college basketball or football? I'm a UNC fan, by the way.
So, yeah, I like watching UNC, even though it's a down year for
Trash.
it. Yeah.
Kentucky trash.
Kentucky, I like watching. Michigan State. I like watching Rutgers this year. And then, like he said, he's a big Texas fan, so I like watching Texas.
Was that
hoping they
basketball
lose.
and football, or just basketball?
Just basketball,
okay,
yeah.
got you.
I don't really watch college football too much.
Nah. I kind of like it more than NFL. I guess it's like that school atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Playing in high school, you had the band and all that
Yeah.
out there. That's
Some teams still got all their fans. Like we are not.
we
That's
did
what I
not
said. Depends where you
They be
at.
hugging each other. Like, man.
slap hands.
But yeah, I like UNC. They trash this year, like I said. Kentucky trash. Who other? Duke.
Duke, it's not good. Yeah.
See, I don't really watch college basketball.
Yeah.
I
I don't need it
Football.
nowadays. I
I
used to
don't
watch
know.
it back when Raymond Felton and
And all that was
who else
school.
was there at the time? Danny Green, all them
Yeah,
players.
Charles McCann.
Yeah. But let's talk about NBA. James Harden just went to the Nets. How y'all feel about that Nets team now that they got their own big three? Y'all want me to let y'all know how I feel?
Yeah. How you feel about it? You let us know. Let the people know.
Sound like he wanted to let that out. Real
So
quick.
I'll be on Twitter and whatnot, just promoting the brand. But I don't think it's gonna work because James Harden and Kyrie both need the ball. So if they even yesterday, whenever y'all watch this, they played the Cavs, lost, and it's just a lot of standing around. I don't see them beating them better teams like the Clippers, Lakers. That's all I really think. That's it. But I don't see them beating them because you can't really. I know they three superstars, but after that, you gotta have some movement. You gotta have people coming off screens. They bench played 10 minutes. If you ain't got no bench, I understand y'all got three superstars, but you need a bench to give them some rest because they gonna burn out eventually.
Definitely.
So me personally, I don't think that's gonna work out. I love Kyrie as a player, but I think they should maybe move him, get a decent amount of bench players to go around James Harden and KD. Because when James Harden and KD played the 3 games by themselves,
they was.
it's like, damn,
Yeah.
Kyrie about to mess that up.
So would you rather them two start and have? I mean, Kyrie not gonna come off the bench, but
that ain't the
so would you rather have James Harden and Durant start, or?
No, they all gonna start,
But they was I know they was saying
one gotta
all
go.
three not going, it's just not gonna work. And like you said,
I think
James
it's-
Harden and Durant, they was
It's not even KD. He know how to play with other superstars.
Yeah.
It's James Harden that I don't think he can change his game at this point.
True.
And Kyrie, I don't think he want to change his game. So it's like,
So it's time for him to go.
You know,
what y'all think?
I was like, personally, obviously KD went to Texas, so I know I root hard for him, and especially him coming back from the injury. I want them to win the championship. I really don't know yet. I have to see more, but I'm rooting hard for them. I think this is where it comes back on Nash and the coaching staff to where I think they can win with those three players, because when you get to the playoffs, it's really just come down to who got the best players. For sure, 9 times out of 10. Like that's when LeBron and AD hooked up. My dad's a Lakers fan. I told him trade the house for AD. You got 2 top 5 players. It doesn't really matter what the rest of your pieces look like. You're gonna find a way to win it. And I kind of feel the same way about the Nets. I think it'll be an interesting finals matchup. I'm not sure who'll win that yet, but I think that maybe you just got to stagger their minutes, as far as you can start all 3 of them, and then maybe Kyrie, you be more of a 6 guy. When you come in, you the only one on the floor, so you're able to do what you need to do with the basketball. And I feel like James Harden, I feel like we don't give him enough credit. I feel like he was a product of D'Antoni to the point where that's why he did so much ISO, so much dribbling. But when you look at him when he was first on the Thunder, that he was a 6 man. He was known as being a defender, known as being a point guard, and things along those lines. So I feel like he's good enough to where, and you even watch the All-Star game, he's good enough to adapt his game. He's not one of those people who are very limited on what they're doing and feel like, I got to have my numbers. If he wanted his numbers, I feel like he would have stayed in Houston. I feel like he really just wants a championship, so he's willing to do whatever. Kyrie, I don't know. He's a different breed, so they got. I don't know. They got to talk to him. But as far as James Harden, I feel like he's willing to do whatever. Like you saw last night, he took the least amount of shots. I'm sure he was happy.
Still had a triple.
Exactly. I just feel like he's going to do what he need to do. KD doesn't need the basketball, and that now they just got to control Kyrie. Kyrie is times where you can beat Kyrie, and it's times where you got to
be a point guard.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like that goes on the coaching staff. If they figure that out, I think in the East they take care of it. But now, them and the Lakers, I expect the Lakers to get out the West. Them and the Lakers, I don't know who will win that matchup. It's just interesting to see those guys versus LeBron and AD.
Do you think they did that for longevity? Like brought Harden for longevity, or you just
that's now.
I feel like it's both. I feel like it's both. I feel like it's win now, and then if we win it,
we're just gonna keep going.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So I feel like it was a little bit of both, because as you see, players now are playing longer than that. LeBron is 36 now.
Yeah.
It
was like his
18th
year.
Yeah, and he's still playing at a high level. And you probably will see the same thing for KD, especially KD doesn't really rely on athleticism. He's always gonna be able to shoot the basketball.
Yeah.
You know, even when he gets older in age and can't move as well, he still could be a threat out there. And then James Harden, so they all probably got about a good 6 years left in them, give or take.
That was real coach talk right there. He gave us the expanded version of what I was trying to say.
He wants you to understand.
So what you think about Steve Nash as that coach? Do you think that was the right hire for them? Because he didn't have any experience. Do you think that was the right hire? Obviously, he bought D'Antoni with him. He got Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah.
I forget who else he got. But do you think that was the right, I guess, coach and fit for him?
I don't
or
know.
Them.
I don't know. Like, never saw Steve Nash other besides when he was actually playing. So know, like, never got to see him in the media analyze or what he does outside the court. But I mean, I guess only time can tell, because I really don't know what his philosophy is or what he's doing. But he inherited. People think it's a problem, but he inherited a great situation. It's really. When your team is good, it's really, you just don't have to mess it up.
Yeah.
Whether you
That's how Steve Kerr was.
Exactly. I always felt the same way about Steve Kerr. I felt like Jackson got the raw end of the stick. Mm-hmm. He put the foundation in, put the hard work in, and then literally when Kerr was out for those 30 games, the one time
went like 29-1.
Exactly. So I feel like when your team is really good, you legit just don't have to mess it up. There's only a few actual coaches who actually do an excellent job and can win with anything, and other people are just a product. So with Steve Nash, I'm unsure. Like I said, I haven't really watched him play yet. I'll start to watch him a little bit more so I can see like what he does and how the impact he has with the players. But if they respect him, then yes. If they don't respect him, then
he's gonna be out of there.
Exactly.
He got 2 years. Let's switch it to football. NFL is in the what? What are we in, divisional?
Yeah.
Conference.
Yeah.
So Tampa Bay plays Green Bay. Buffalo plays Kansas City. Who y'all got?
I got the Chiefs and Green Bay in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers to
That's my goat.
That's the old, he the OG. He the uncle. He the OG.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. Feel like Aaron Rodgers, and then rooting for Pat Mahomes and them to meet.
Definitely.
This is
Wait, who you a fan of this year?
I was
Switch up, Barry.
listen. I was a Seahawks fan. I'm a Seahawks fan. That's it. I mean, I was back.
last year?
I was like the Seahawks.
Washington.
I mean, why? Because I went to a game.
My bad. Go ahead.
But this is back to you coaching. Like, did you have somebody you looked up to, like through your years of coaching? Did you have somebody that was like a mentor or somebody that was giving you guidance through your years of coaching?
Like kind of what Ben was saying earlier. Like my dad is like been one of my coaches like my entire life. So he was someone I had the pleasure of playing for Greg Grant as well. So I like I said,
Greg was no joke.
Learned a lot from him. I appreciate him. Yeah, his practice is no joke.
Yeah.
He kid you not. Sometimes you go an hour and never seen a basketball.
I was a witness to that. Yo, he loved. Shout out to Coach Greg. He loved them bleachers, boy.
But he made sure that you were in shape and you weren't going to
definitely.
break down and you was going to wear the other team down.
I was probably in the best shape of my life that year. Another thing, have you ever dealt with like frustration as being a coach? Like, what's your most difficult time like through your years of coaching? What's
Like
one of the most difficult
head coach
times?
or assistant coach?
No, as a head coach.
As a head coach.
Yeah.
Frustration, yes. One of my biggest frustration is like it just comes with the group that we were talking about earlier in a couple of questions is getting them to want it as bad as I want it. Like literally, I loved it. I'm willing to do anything to make sure we win the game. And sometimes I feel like my kids are just happy to be there.
Got you.
And so that's like my biggest frustration. And then to go off of that is then I go home and I think like maybe I got to find another way to reach these kids. So I kind of get frustrated with myself. Maybe I got to change up what I'm saying, what I'm doing in order to get my message across.
I know every team has a hothead. Have you ever had any problems with somebody that just can't get right?
Yeah, I may be coaching one of them. I may be coaching one of them
right now.
He know who he is.
What is it? Is it school, like grades? Is it he just not like?
I mean, he's just someone. I've coached a few, but for the most part, like they have such a respect for me that they never have those major blow ups or anything along those. They always respect what I said. We never like kind of got into it or anything like that. But I can see the frustration building up on him, and he's ready to explode, or he may take it out on a teammate or something like that. But it goes back to just a little bit of maturity, and then I think because he's someone that's very talented,
Super talented,
like very talented. He can, like I said, do anything on the floor. Where I raised his expectations before. I felt like he was just someone that I'm just better than you. I can get. He plays for the oohs and ahs instead of the wins. So I can hit you off. I can hit the three. I can do this and do that. And I'm like, that doesn't translate to winning basketball. So I'm always on him, and he probably never had anyone constantly on him. Like he can do 10 things right. The 11th thing, I'm saying, you know what, you could have did this on this play. So that was like our biggest battle. But then he said, Coach, I understand. I know you want what was best for me. So like just getting him to understand that. But he's someone, like I said, before I met him, I heard a lot of bad things about him. As far as got to watch out for this one, watch out. I'm like, that's not the same kid that I know.
Definitely growing.
And for the kids watching this, when a coach stops like correcting you and like even saying your name or your number, that's when you should worry, because that's when they stop. Not, I don't want to say caring about you, but they like you're too far gone at that point.
Exactly.
So if your coach stops saying your name, you better get back out of. You better get out of that doghouse and work your ass off to get back in his good spirits. Not even, maybe you won't get in the game, but still work hard, because coaches love to see kids work hard. That's what I learned later in college. Like I was just there off talent, but once I started actually working hard, that's when I started playing and getting the numbers I thought I should get.
Gotcha.
But before we let y'all go, y'all got a brand, Woorrkk. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, how did it come about?
It's a funny story. I don't know if we got time, but just a quick version.
we got 10 minutes.
All right, so I kind of speed through it a little bit, but it came from playing 2K. I'm maybe 2K like 15. I think when Anthony Davis was like a second or second or third year in the league, me and Simon He coaches with us as well. But we would play with Anthony Davis, and we would just he literally just got every rebound. He dunked everything. And we just started yelling like, work, work, work. And then it just became like a joke with us or whatever. And then when it was around the time where I first started coaching too. And that just became our motto. So everything we did, we didn't know what it was at first. We just knew when we said it what we were talking about. And then over the next 2 years or so after that, we started to shape and form. Because people, no matter what we did, whether it was originally it was just something I only told my team about, never told anyone else about. If we talked to each other about it, that's about it. But then people would hear about it, or they'll watch us, everything we do and so forth, and they'll just ask questions, and they'll be like, no, I actually love it, I actually like it. So with the work, as far as my players, parents started coming up to them and say, you know what, you need to put that on a T-shirt. That's a great model.
And that's dope.
And everything. And that's literally how it started. It's nothing I expected. It was just our way of living and philosophy. But what work is just a positive energy that forces you to work harder and smarter in all aspects. If you're doing that, you literally can't lose. If you're outworking your opponent and outthinking them, then you can't lose in anything. And it doesn't have to be just sports. It's in the classroom, at a job, so forth. So during this run, we've had parents that are in the workforce that say you think about it the same way. And it just force you to be the best version of yourself. Definitely. So it kind of started off like that. And then maybe around our second, third year coaching, we actually kind of formed it exactly what it was. So originally when we explained it, we just kind of explained it with physical traits of what's happening, work. If you miss 10 layups, do you get 10 offensive rebounds and finally make the 11th one? That's an example of work. Yeah. If you play in a different sport, if you turn the ball over, do you pout or do you get back and get it right back? So it was just that extra third, fourth, sixth effort play in order to get the results you need. So it's not always pretty. It may not always work, but you find a way to get the job done. Definitely. And then, like I said, from there, kids, parents loved it. And then it became the community, and literally everyone just was always asking about it. They loved it. And then now it forced me, as well as I'm sure my brother could say the same thing, it forced us to be better. We can't hold people to the standard, and then now
y'all not holding it.
Exactly. So sometimes when I want to complain about something, you know what? I talk about it all the time. We can't do it. I talk about people saying they want something and don't want to go get it. You know what I mean? I can't do it. And then just the feedback I get from everyone is literally puts a smile on my face, because never thought I would impact or people are even watching. And then they say, you know what? I'll get a message or just get a random picture of someone here. It's all different types of people have it. I get pictures from random people. Some people I don't even know, they'll just send me a picture and be like, look, I seen your shirt, and then send it to me.
I see it a lot. Definitely do see it a lot, man.
Yeah, that's what it's all about with us, just being genuine. We want to impact and inspire, so that's what we're here to do.
True playmakers. But before we let y'all go, any advice both of y'all can give it to kids or maybe even coaches that want to get in the coaching field? Any advice you give them on what how they can work towards getting to where you guys are, and then on a brand tip, how to push forward even when there's probably bad days and whatnot?
As far as the coaching for kids or anyone that want to get as far as coaching, I feel the most important thing is for you to just be a student of the game. One of the things I always say is perfect your craft. If you wanted to be your craft, perfect it. If you do that, you open up options for yourself, and now you want to find a mentor or someone just to guide you in that direction. Because with coaching, it's one of those things where if no one pulls you in, it's hard for you to get in there. So you got to surround yourself with the right person or people to help guide you and prepare you, so when you do get that opportunity, you're able to step in. So that's one of my biggest thing is I always reach out to former players or anyone who I feel like could be a good positive impact, and I want to bring them along with me. It's not about me just getting here. It's me. Who many people can I bring while I'm going there?
hey, that was good.
Bam don't say much.
Not too much.
Same thing, Brandon. You good?
I was gonna say about
with
the brand.
Yeah,
so with the brand, as far as with that, if you truly believe in something, just keep pushing it, keep doing whatever you think is right, and then eventually your time has come. If you have a good product or whatever it is, it's funny because Drake says it in one of his songs. Drake is my guy. He knows. Before Drake was Drake, everybody say they used to call me a Drake fan and all this stuff. Nobody really listened to him, but from college, that's what they know me from, because that's all I listened to.
Those was them days, man.
But he goes in the song Pound Cake. He goes, I forgot how it goes exactly, but it's like a couple years from now, only the real music will last.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
that like with your brand, at this point, we live in a world where everyone has a brand, everyone's pushing. But a month from now, a year from now, 2 years, 5 years, 6 years, half of the brands, if not more, are going to be gone because they're just following the trend. But the ones who are genuinely in it for the right reason, they'll be the ones pushing it and finding that success. So I say just stay on the big picture.
Be true to yourself. Don't sell yourself.
That's good. So one question we like to ask all our guests that we have on is something where your answer, you have to help us get them. It'll make sense once I ask. So who do y'all think we should have next as a guest on the Playmaker podcast?
That's a good question.
Y'all
had a lot.
Y'all can have two separate answers
Okay.
too.
I would say you've had a lot of people that I think about. You got someone?
Go ahead. I think. Go
I
ahead.
don't
don't
have
have one. Go ahead.
So someone that I can think off the top of my head that you haven't had. Like I said, I think you've done an excellent job of just getting in
Thank you.
contact of the
Definitely.
people, the true playmakers of the community and everything. I don't know.
And we put him on the spot.
Yeah, put me on the
He
spot.
like, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
So I would have to think about that.
All right,
you know what? I got someone that would be good for you. I think it'd be good to have your brother and his group on here.
That's a real good one.
So once again, they can learn from you right from the beginning, and then it gives them an opportunity to better them. So I think
That was good. That was good. I like that one.
I like that answer. I'm
But
going
nah,
with that.
Go ahead.
I like that answer. I'm gonna go with the same thing.
All right, I guess I'll reach out to you. Hey, but we appreciate y'all for coming through. Obviously, y'all ain't have to, but we only reach out to people who we truly feel like make an impact, whether it be in the community or just in kids' lives in general. So I thought of y'all. I reached out. You should have been did this, but it happened at the right time. Good luck on y'all season. Hope everybody stays safe and healthy. And we thank y'all.
No, we thank you. Everyone watching, make sure you tune in and support, watch, like, share,
Subscribe,
post,
all that good stuff. Grab you some stateside vodka too. Use code PLAYMAKERS.
He said like 3 words.
Hey, this is the Playmaker Podcast. I'm your host, Reggie Combs.
DJ Bean.
Brandon, Bam, appreciate y'all.
Tell me, are you a playmaker? Tell me, are you a playmaker? Tell me, are you a playmaker?
Visit our website at theplaymakerpodcast.com and subscribe on Apple Podcast and Spotify.